Hello and welcome back to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson, writer for UCLA on SI. Today we're going to be taking a look at UCLA's women's team's odds of making a deep run in the tournament, as well as kind of breaking down the bracket of the Big Ten, tournament that is about to start here very, very soon. But yeah, first games were played today. On Wednesday, we saw Indiana go up against Nebraska, Wisconsin versus Illinois, and then Purdue, and then Oregon. So obviously we got a lot of games. We're going to see maybe some of those teams could be UCLA's potential opponents. But before we get started, I want to thank everyone right now who's watching Apple Music, Spotify, or even YouTube. It all means a lot to me, and I cannot thank you enough. So to kind of set the stage for what UCLA has been able to accomplish this season, right now they're 28-1, went undefeated in conference play, sitting at 18-0. So obviously this team is stacked. Last year they dropped out in the Final Four against UConn. It was a rough game for the Bruins, but this year they looked even more refined, talented. Obviously, they were able to add Gianna Nipkins. Sienna Betts was also the number 2 high school prospect, and she has been getting great minutes and has really found her role. I believe she made the all Big Ten freshman team, which in itself is a huge accomplishment for Sienna Betts, especially coming off of that injury. And we're loving how she's playing right now, and I couldn't be more excited for when tournament season begins. Also taking a look at kind of what UCLA's odds of making the championship game this season, I think they're pretty high. When you look at it, UCLA is obviously going to be a number 1 seed, not the number 1 overall team, but still they'll be playing in the first round. They're projected to play Cal Baptist, a team who is the 16th seed. After that, they'll play the winner of Oklahoma State versus Virginia Tech. I like how those matchups look. I think UCLA has just been on another level all season long, and overall I don't see them missing the Final Four, much less the championship game. I think that is something the Bruins will be able to accomplish with ease. It'll be interesting to see. I believe the other number 1 seed on their side of the bracket is South Carolina. Obviously a good team as well. They've been a projected 1 seed all season long. They were able to get a lot of huge wins, so that is a team UCLA could face up against. Lucky for the Bruins, UConn's on the other side of the bracket. They're in Fort Worth. UCLA is going to be in Los Angeles. So again, I like how this looks. Texas is also on that side, so we could get a rematch of UCLA's first loss of the season, which came against Texas back in November. So just looking at the regular bracket right now, I think the Bruins make a really deep run. There's no doubt about it. This team is so loaded with talent. I mean, I could just list off their starters, and easily all 5 of them could be first round draft picks in the WNBA draft. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on when Selection Sunday comes in. Honestly, I'm checking a box next to UCLA's name in every single tournament. If you do brackets, I think UCLA is definitely a safe bet to win it all this year. But in more recent times, we're going to kind of break down the women's Big Ten basketball tournament to kind of crown the Big Ten champion. Obviously, UCLA gets a chunk of that because they were first in the conference. But yeah, just like taking a look at UCLA's bracket, their first game will be against either USC or Washington. And all season, the Bruins have proven to be, better than both of those teams. UCLA's last game of the season came against USC. They were able to win 73-50 by 23 points. Obviously, looked very dominant. Even further back in the season, they were also able to win 80-46, and that's when they had Jazzy Davidson. So again, they look a lot more weaker, and they're going up against the same powerhouse they played just a few weeks ago. So when I look at that game, I think UCLA easily advances to the semifinal. On Washington side of things, again, UCLA just played them recently. They were able to win 82-67, another huge win for the Bruins. Again, both of those, matchups look like, softballs, Megan Grant reference. That was bad, but still. Just kind of looking at that, I think UCLA has a great chance of, making a deep run in the tournament. If they're able to advance to the semifinal, they will have to play the winner of Minnesota. It's still a kind of a toss-up who UCLA will have to play. Ohio State. They were actually able to have UCLA on the ropes earlier this season. I believe the Bruins were able to win by at least 6. So we could see Minnesota versus Ohio State. I think in that game, we could be looking at Minnesota or Ohio State. I really think Ohio State might have the edge. So it'll be a rematch. Again, I think UCLA should win. On the other side of the bracket, that's where it kind of gets a little dicey for the Bruins. The number 2 seed is Iowa, and the number 3 seed is Michigan. Again, those are going to be some pretty good games. If they both make the championship, I think UCLA will kind of be tested a little bit more. Earlier this season, number 8 Michigan, the Bruins were able to win 69-66, so a very close game overall. But compared to Iowa, UCLA was able to win 88-65. A very also, not that close of a game, but still Iowa is going to refine. They know what they did wrong, and that kind of gives them an advantage. I mean, they're the 2 and 3 seed for a reason. They're obviously not a bad team, but compared to UCLA, there's not many teams that give UCLA that much trouble. But again, I think UCLA already has a chunk of the Big Ten title. I don't see a team who could be sneaky. In my opinion, I think it looks a little, dicey if you're going up against a team of that caliber. But yeah, it's going to be a very fun thing. I love looking at brackets, things like that, all the possibilities. The only thing that I could see that could potentially hurt UCLA bad is, again, a matchup against Michigan. I think if they're able to beat Iowa, if both teams make the semifinal, it will be a very competitive game. Minnesota also could give UCLA some trouble. Earlier this season, it was a pretty ugly game. UCLA was able to win 76-58. So again, a little bit too close for comfort, especially for the Bruins standard. But again, just looking at everything that's going on, I'm going to kind of identify who needs to step up during this time. I think, obviously the answer at first glance is pretty obvious. You're going to want Lauren Betts to really just dominate, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and also the Big Ten Player of the Year. So obviously she's going to rack up the awards. And when you look at that, you just have to be excited for UCLA's tournament odds. Obviously, she's more refined. She's definitely developed a lot more compared to last year. And I think she's really comfortable in Corey Close's system. And that is something to watch out for. I think she absolutely goes ballistic this tournament run. But I figure that UCLA is probably going to blow out a lot of these games early. I think, obviously the way UCLA has played, it kind of points to that. So when that happens, I really want to see Sienna Betts really make an impact overall. She has the skill. She's been playing well. She's been trending upwards. She started to work on her 3-point shot a lot more. So that is something to watch out for. I think with her getting more minutes and kind of being more flexible, that's going to give UCLA a massive boost come tournament time. And the thing that makes, the tournament different from, the Big Ten tournament is obviously UCLA is familiar with these teams. You never know who you're going to play in, the actual NCAA tournament. And I think when that happens, you got to rely on your bench a little bit more because you never know. A team could tire out your starters in the first 10 minutes of early in the second quarter. And that could be troubling if you're the Bruins. So minutes are going to have to be an emphasis when you're kind of looking into how UCLA can have sustained success and easily make a tournament run. So if Sienna Betts is able to give UCLA, a safety cushion when, some of these starters are getting a little tired, I think that just benefits the Bruins so much. Obviously, Angela Dugalic is going to be there to kind of be that sixth woman. I almost said sixth man but different sport pretty much. I mean, same basketball, but sixth woman sounds better. But yeah, she's obviously going to be a stud in the bench. As for the other players besides those two who are not starters, I really want to see a lot more from Gianna Neepkins. She came from Utah for a reason, probably one of the biggest transfers of the offseason, and she's kind of lived up to that billing. Well, she has kind of gone down in overall production. It's hard to find steady, explosive production with a team this stacked. But if she's able to find her rhythm, get going, get hot at the right time, I think UCLA will be a great team. So to kind of round things up, it's pretty simple. UCLA is probably going to win both tournaments. Obviously, the NCAA tournament could be a little tricky, but still, the way UCLA's played, I think they've been tested enough. I think they have, double-digit ranked wins this season, if I'm not mistaken. They might have a little bit less, but still, again, UCLA has played amazing this season. And when it comes to the tournament, I think the Bruins will win both. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit harder in the NCAA tournament, but I think the Big Ten tournament should go fairly smooth. But that's all I have today. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson. And as always, fours up and have a good day.